Hey there! If you're learning English, I bet you've asked yourself this question a million times. What is the fastest, most effective way to actually get fluent? Should you be diving deep into classic novels, or should you be out there practicing ordering a coffee until you can do it in your sleep? Today, we're going to explore two very different paths to fluency. We're calling them the scholar's path and the traveler's path. And by the end, you'll know exactly which journey is right for you.
It really is the ultimate question, isn't it? Now look, there's no single one-size-fits-all answer here, but what we can do is break down the options so that you can figure out the answer that works perfectly for you. We're going to dive into two very different, but equally powerful ways to master the language. So let's think of this whole thing as a journey with two totally different routes. First up, you've got the scholar's path. This one takes you through the rich and sometimes complex world of literature. And then you've got the traveler's path, which guides you through all those practical, real-life situations. Now, both can get you to fluency for sure, but they take you through some very different landscapes to get there.
Okay, so let's jump right into this first path. We're calling it the scholar's path, and this one is all about immersing yourself in the world of stories, poems, and plays. Basically, learning the language from its most creative masters. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the literature-based approach uses authentic texts. We're not talking about simplified stuff made for classrooms. The whole idea is that you're learning the language in its most expressive, most meaningful form. You're soaking up sophisticated vocabulary, complex grammar, and deep cultural context, all at the same time. The benefits here go incredibly deep. I mean, you're not just memorizing words from a list, you're learning nuance, style, and expression. And check out that second point. It enhances critical thinking. How? Well, think about it. When you're trying to understand a character's dilemma in a novel, you're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning the language of analysis and debate. Plus, getting emotionally invested in a good story, that's a huge motivator. But this path isn't for everyone, especially not right at the beginning. The language in classic literature can be really, really dense, and honestly, it might just overwhelm a beginner. It also doesn't always teach you the practical phrases you need for daily life. You might be able to discuss Shakespeare like a pro, but still struggle to ask where the nearest bus stop is. All right, let's shift gears and check out our second path. This is what we're calling the traveler's path, and it's all about mastering English for practical, real-world use. This is a totally different kind of fluency we're building here. With this approach, it's all about real-life situations. Forget deep literary analysis for a second. The goal here is pure, simple function. Can you navigate an airport? Can you make small talk at a party? It's about learning the exact language you need to get useful things done in the real world right now. The biggest win here is just how relevant it is. Everything you learn is immediately useful. And that is a massive confidence booster, especially for beginners. I mean, when you learn how to order a meal on Monday, and then you actually go out and do it successfully in a restaurant on Tuesday, that feeling is incredibly motivating. It builds that functional fluency fast. Of course, there's always a flip side, right? If you're only focusing on practical phrases, you might miss out on the richer, more stylistic side of the language. Your learning might lack a bit of depth when it comes to advanced grammar, and it won't necessarily prepare you for, say, academic writing or deep, abstract conversations. You could end up learning the phrases, but not the deeper structures behind them. Okay, so we've walked down both paths. Now let's put them right next to each other, a real head-to-head showdown, to see exactly where they differ and where each one really, truly shines. This table just lays it all out so clearly. Just look at the focus row for a second. With literature, it's all about interpretation. With everyday situations, it's all about practical communication. Or check out the best four row. Literature is perfect for academics and advanced learners, while that real-world approach is fantastic for beginners or travelers. One gives you deep cultural insight, the other gives you the tools you need to get through your day. You know, if we had to boil it all down to just one core difference, this is it. The literature path, the scholar's path, teaches you the why, the deep meaning, the culture, the artistry behind the language. And the real-world path, the traveler's path, teaches you the how to do things, how to communicate, how to function effectively from one day to the next. So this brings us to the most important question of all. Which one of these paths is right for you? It's not about which one is better in some abstract way, but which one actually fits with your specific needs and your goals right at this moment. Think of this table as your own personal roadmap. Just find your learner level, think about your main goal and consider your learning style. Are you already an advanced learner who wants to focus on analytical skills? Well, the literature path is probably your best bet. Are you a beginner who just needs to build some confidence for an upcoming trip? Then the real-world path is definitely calling your name.
Let's make it super clear. You should choose the scholar's path if you're already at an intermediate or advanced level and you really want to dive deeper. If your goal is academic success or you just want to appreciate the beauty of expressive, nuanced language, this is for you.
On the other hand, you should choose the traveler's path if you're just starting out, or if your main goal is just practical communication. If you need to get ready for travel, a new job, or you just want to feel more comfortable in social situations, this approach is going to give you those quick, functional wins that you're looking for. But here's the most important takeaway of all. This isn't really an either-or decision. The ultimate destination is fluency, right? And the smartest learners know that these two paths don't have to be separate journeys. They can, and absolutely should, connect. Let's be perfectly clear on this. One method is not better than the other. Literature gives you depth and cultural insight. Real-world contexts build practical confidence. The best choice is simply the one that serves your goals at this stage of your journey. You know, the most effective learning strategies almost always combine the two. You can think of it like this. You use one approach to build a solid foundation of skill, and then you use the other one to add all these layers of richness, expression, and cultural understanding right on top. So here's a powerful, balanced model that you can use. Step 1, start with real-world situations to build your confidence and just get comfortable with the basics of communication. Then, for step 2, once you've got that functional foundation, you bring in literature to deepen your understanding, expand your vocabulary, and really master the art of the language. So we're going to end by turning the question right back to you. Now that you know the landscape, what does your ideal journey to fluency actually look like? Are you starting out as a traveler to build up your confidence, and then maybe becoming a scholar later on to find that depth? The adventure is really yours to design. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.